to another episode of Discussions of Exploration with your host, Sabrina Ben Salmi. Today I'm here with two super special guests, LaToya and Ernest, all the way from the US, and they are co-founders of The Profit Room. Now, today the two of them are coming here to join me in this space to talk about empowerment. And for me, I was super excited about this conversation for a number of reasons, but primarily for the obvious one, finances. You see, finances is something that usually excites one or makes someone terrified to the point of feeling quite paralyzed because they feel ashamed to discuss it. So, welcome to the platform, Ernest and LaToya. Please introduce yourself to our listeners and our viewers, and we'll take it from there.
Hello, everyone. I am LaToya. I'm coming from the U.S., specifically Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Profit Room, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having us, Sabrina.
You're welcome. I'm excited to have you. And yourself, Ernest?
Yep, my name is Ernest. I'm here from theprofitroom.com. I'm located in New Jersey. And what we do is we teach people how to trade and invest in the different financial markets, the different currency markets throughout the world, so they can build self-sufficiency and also be able to empower themselves and also create, income, retirement, and be able to pass that on for generational wealth.
Excellent. Thank you for excellent introduction, both of you. I guess we'll get stuck right in and just say, why? I think when we start with why, it makes perfect sense as to everything else. So we've got a very wide scope of listeners and viewers. Like, why the profit room? Why finances? Why trading?
When you look at the financial markets, it's an opportunity for everyone. It doesn't matter what social economic area you're from. It doesn't matter if you're rich. It doesn't matter if you're from the slums. It doesn't matter at all. Finances control the world. No matter what job you have, you could be a truck driver, you could be a taxi driver, you can be a school teacher, you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor. Some form of item, product that you use has something to do with finances. And what happens is when you understand that and you can participate in that particular market, you get that empowerment and control. So if that taxi driver is driving that specific car, right, that car is a certain model. Or if he's using a certain radio in order to communicate to headquarters, that's a certain model. All of these things are used in order for us to make the world go around. And when you open up a brokerage account with trading or investing, it's like you going into your own bank. They don't Google to see what street you're from. They don't ask you for the university you went to. They don't ask you, sometimes they ask you what color, but it really doesn't matter. They just want your money. That's it. So in the market, it's the same thing. They just want your money. But if you're educated, you're able to pull money back out. And that's the thing. They don't judge you based on how you look, how you sound, how tall you are, your shape. It's an open playing field when you deal with the financial markets. And that's what's one of the reasons why we push that education, because these charts that you see in the back aren't racist or sexist. They just charts, and everybody wants your money like that. So
excellent. It's a level playing field. I love that. It's all about the money, what you're putting in. And LaToya, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, it's exactly what Ernest said. I think he phrased it in the best way possible. It's just about you as a person, and that's one of the things I personally like about the markets and me getting involved in the field as a profession, is that I don't have to ask for a raise. I don't have to do anything based on a certain standard that someone set for me or anything like that. The standards I set for myself. If I want a raise, I give myself a raise. So one thing with the markets, not only it reveals the true you or how you are as a person in a sense, but you're able to control what you're able to get from the markets, and that's very important. So you're in control, bottom line. Whereas, you're working for somebody else, or you're working in general, but it's not necessarily your own. They have control, right? They have control over, if they want to give you a raise, or control over whatever task they want to delegate to you. It's not like that when you're actually trading within the financial markets. Just know that you have full control over whatever it is you're doing within the markets. If I want to trade, I trade. If I don't want to trade, I don't trade, because that's me being in control, and that's what we try to empower people with, is that ability for them to be in control as well.
Fantastic. I love that. Thank you for very compact answers, both of you. You know what? I love what you said. It doesn't matter where you come from, but the essence that is a level playing field, and it's all about the money, right? There's no connection to where you're coming from, who you are, age, creed, like, doesn't matter. It's all about the money, but having the right education. And this is why I really love the profit room, because you're actually equipping people to go into, because I know that when I've spoken to people in the past with regards to trading, people either have an okay experience, phenomenal experience, or they've got some really serious wounds. So what I love that you guys are offering, it's not just promoting trading, it's the training behind it, it's preparing, it's creating that safe, inspired environment for people to learn and thrive. And I love what you said. If they want to earn more, they want to give themselves a raise, they put in, and it doesn't take away from what you will do in your day-to-day life. You can get started while you're working, and I really love that. I wonder if we can delve into a bit about the profit room. Why did you set this up, and what do people get when they come along to that space?
So the reason why we set this up, in any type of field, there's teachers, and there's also instructors, then there's doers. So for example, I always like to say this: sometimes you can go to a personal trainer that's at a gym, and they can be out of shape, but they have all the knowledge in the world to give you the right diet and put you in shape and get you fit, but they're not applying what they know. They say, oh, I used to be this, I used to be that, right? So now I'm giving our perspective. LaToya and I are traders first. So we are actively trading. So think of that personal trainer. We're actually working out, we're actually training, we're actually getting physically fit in the financial markets. And when people saw that about us, they were asking us, can we teach? Can we show them what we do? And we never thought about that because we already had our education. We knew what we were actually doing. But it realized that a lot of people are getting help and assistance from those who have a lot of theory or a lot of book knowledge, right? Professor type information, but not actually real life experience hands on. So we decided to say, okay, we took about a year to think about it and make like a little syllabus of how we would want people to be taught based off of real life experiences, real life emotions, and things in the market. Then we decided to come up with a company called the Profit Room because we didn't want to be specific towards just one genre. It's more of a way of, like, if you're going into like a hotel or event and you open the doors, it's the Profit Room. Where over here, since we trade a lot of markets, there could be a currency market here, a stock market there. It could be what we call the futures market that deals with like oil, soybean, and things of that nature, different commodities, or even like the crypto market. So we wanted to be more diversified in that sense because we know times change. And that's how we started the Profit Room that way. And we have structured courses developed for all, for beginners, absolute beginners who don't know anything, period, to those who come to us who are advanced, that are struggling traders who haven't been taught, that's been going through a lot of the cycles that we always hear the bad reputations about in the market. So that's how we came along, as just being actual traders first. And people observed what we were doing, and we decided to put together a curriculum.
Fantastic. LaToya, would you like to add anything to that?
He put it well said, Ernest. Definitely. Um, I also like to say, like, besides the financial markets, we just left it open. Like, it's like an open concept, meaning like later on down the road, if we decide to incorporate more other things in terms of like that dwells on financial wealth and as well as health, we can also add that within the Profit Room's umbrella. So that's very powerful in itself.
Incredibly powerful. I love that. And bringing in health, your health is your wealth, right? If we don't look into that as well, you have to have balance. I'm really intrigued to hear, where did the name come from? How did you get to the Profit Room? I love that it's very specific, but again, very broad, the way you've given that example behind it.
Ernest is the one with the brain over there.
Yeah, I just that's what I'm saying. It was a lot of different names that came up, and I have a lot of, like LaToya said, my brain is moving all the time. I have probably like thousands of ideas written down, and I was just thinking about that same concept. Using my mindset and using the imagination, things of that nature, and I just didn't want to have anything that was specific, like LaToya said, just trading. I wanted to be something broad and diverse, for just in case we meet other individuals in the future that have other talents and things of that nature, we can all work together. So it's just a group of people trying to make profits, and especially like she mentioned with health. Like, you don't know now, but you'll know I'm a big advocate on health and training and fitness and stuff like that. Like, I'm borderline meathead in that sense. So it's a lot of that stuff that we want to eventually incorporate into what we're doing. So that's where we did that name from, just like the Profit Room in that sense. It's just like you're coming in a room, and no matter what, you're going to build up some type of profits for yourself, some type of wealth, some type of knowledge to upbuild you no matter what. And you're gonna leave with something. You're gonna come in there, maybe a little light in the pockets, but you're gonna leave with something else extra when you walk out.
Fantastic. Thank you guys, both of you, for the answer. The response is amazing. Do you know what I really love with regards to your response is that you guys are traders first. So one of the things in the personal development world that really kind of upset me and a few people in our network is that there's lots of this teacher gurus. There's lots of these people that are saying it but not being it. And I really love that distinction between the fact that it's not you're teaching something that you're not doing, you're actually living it, and you're inviting people into your lives. You're inviting people, like, just look at the setup you've got. This is you at home all day, every day. Mm-hmm. When you want to pop into the room, you pop in, but it's a way of life, not just a thought process. And I think that alone speaks volumes. So when I was introduced to both of you, I was super excited for a number of reasons. But what this actually stood out for me, because you understand what it is from an experiential, immersive essence, not just from a book smart theoretical. And I think there's a major difference, and I can imagine listeners and viewers, you understand exactly what I'm speaking about, because we've all been to the seminar route, running around and going, okay, this is the next big opportunity, it's the next big this. But when someone's walked the journey, it's such a different essence that they can give, because they know what it's like immersively, not just theoretically. So thank you, I really love that. For people that are listening and watching this, what would you say are the age ranges that you cater for? I think that's also a question that's kind of pondering on a few people's mind, like what sort of age you need to be to get into it? Am I too young? Am I too old? So we'd love to hear your perspective around that.
We don't really have a specific age. We're all over the place in terms of age, because like Ernest said, really anyone can do this. The age that you do not need permission to open an account, a brokerage account, that's fine. It doesn't matter how old you are at all either. We have people that came to us and still with us, trading with us even after taking our courses, just because they like the community. They're well in their 70s. So age-wise, it doesn't matter how young or old you are. And what Ernest and I are doing too, eventually we're going to have something for the youth. So even though they cannot open a brokerage account as of yet, they will still have that knowledge to prepare them when they are actually ready.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Go
to
ahead.
add on that, just to add on that as well, like LaToya mentioned, we have people that might be young as like 18, 19, up to 70. But we find that on average, we may get people in their mid to late 30s, more of a mature, because we aren't, what we come across, we aren't lifestyle traders and investors. We're not, like you said, you see in the seminars, we're not motivator traders and investors. And that's where, it's the psychological thing where they get you hyped up and expectation. So, and we're glad we're not like that because we get a certain customer as well. So when you put yourself out in a certain way, you receive a certain customer. So we get a lot of customers that either want to supplement their income, or some that'll be close to retirement, 3 or 4 years, and they want to know how to make a little bit extra money. Or like LaToya said, we'll get customers in their 70s who are in the giving back phase. They're already retired, they're comfortable, they want to show how their grandkids to do these things. Then, like now, we're teaching a student now, he's about, it makes us feel old, he's 25. He was following us on Instagram since he was 19.
Wow.
And he finished college and everything. And I'm sitting there doing a session. He's like, yeah, I've been following you since I'm 19. I got college, everything. I knew I was going to take your course. I'm like, dang, 19? But you get people like that. Then surprisingly, LaToya tell you this, we have a trading room where we trade. And one summer, we were trading, day trading, and making some, decent money. And it was somebody in there who was actively there every day in the summertime. And he said, all right, guys, I'm gonna have to cancel my subscription. School is about to start. Now we're trading, but now I think he's in college. We think he's in college. He was like a sophomore, LaToya, like in high school or something like that.
What sort of age roughly? Because we don't have sophomores yet.
Sophomore in high school.
He had to be like 16, 15.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
He was like 15. So he was like in his 10th year of school. But you don't know who's watching you. You don't know what type of finances people have. You don't know what his parents might have gave him or what he may have saved up. But if we were communicating like we are now via like the chat, I would never know he was like 15, 16 years old. Because he's like trading with us every day in the summer. And I was just like, unbelievable. Like, I thought he had to go back to the university or something. He's like, nah, I'm in high. So you never know.
Oh, I love that. Go ahead, Ernest. Finish what you're saying. Sorry.
It's just saying that just shows you the maturity level or the aspect of what you can do. And you don't have to have all these degrees or a certain type. Once you understand it. And he was around us on a daily basis. And even from there, he probably picked up so much more and, go from there.
It's powerful. I'm really glad, listeners and viewers, that you've had this insight that age is nothing but a number. This 15-year-old had to go back to sophomore. He's amongst traders all day, every day, just hanging out, learning. That's absolutely amazing. So he was just keeping up. And like you said, you would never have known had he not said he had to go back to school. It's amazing. But what I really love about this is that the empowerment that it gives people. I love the essence when you said about teaching their grandkids and, you know, exposing 15-year-olds and having 17-year-olds, you know, again, it's a level playing field, just like what you said about trading. It's that the person entering it can be anyone, any age. And you know what's quite interesting? Here in the UK, our laws are a bit different to yours. So kids can actually open up ISAs under the age of 18. So here in the UK, you can open up trading accounts. They're called like trading ISAs, because that's what Trey Sean
Oh,
has.
wow.
That could be quite interesting. So for your online courses, if they're in the UK, they can actually set up quite earlier. So that could be quite interesting. And listeners and viewers, I really hope this inspires you to start thinking that this is a skill set that you can empower your children with at a very young age. If they're just sitting along with you, let them look at the charts. Because I know both of you are parents, like your children just having that habitual understanding of going, like, what's that, mum? What does that do, dad? And I think it's so important for us to immerse our children into our world, because when they get to our age, it becomes so normalized. And I think that's the difference that makes the difference. I wonder if you can add to that the importance of just immersing that learning as a family learning as well.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
like
I agree. Definitely, I agree. My daughters, they're super young, but they know that not all the time, but during a specific time, mommy's buried right here. So at times when they come in, they do ask, and I'll explain a little bit concepts that they can understand at such a young age, because they're 5 and 7. So I don't go too extreme with it, because that's going to come with time as they grow older. But I know they're going to know so much by the time they hit 12 that most people would not know, because they're not surrounded by somebody that actually, trades for a living. So that's important to me. That's one of my goals, one of my objectives. Even if they don't want to do this, but they're going to have some sort of knowledge that it exists, and they know how to utilize it in the future in many ways, even if they don't want to do it professionally, which is not a problem. They will know what investing is like. So that's super important.
Exactly. Thank you. It's amazing. I totally agree. Totally agree. And to some extent, for me, not to some extent, I believe that financial education is a life skill. You know, it's one of those necessities. And I think too many children leave school. Myself, I remember leaving school and just being shocked by the world. I was not prepared. I didn't have that financial understanding that I can earn money in different ways. It was just to get a job or set up a business. And that was all the two things I understand. And to some extent, I felt more like you came from a family that owned businesses. You didn't really come from where I came from to set this up. So children have so much right now. There's such an abundance of what they can do. And obviously with the profit room, it just adds another avenue that can really complement in all kinds of ways. So it's amazing what the two of you are doing. What does it give you? What does the profit room give you both individually? I know we had a chat briefly about this just before we went live, LaToya, but Ernest and LaToya, could you share, like, what is it giving you as an individual, just so maybe the listeners and viewers can grasp the essence?
well, I think it gives me personal satisfaction with certain things. It's like I'm a mechanic by trade. So I like to build things and for things to happen. So if I'm putting something together, at the end of it, you see it, you sit back, hey, I put that together. Like somebody's working in a garden and they see stuff come up. Like I'm that person with the tools. Like, hey, I was able to fix this. I was able to put this together and I completed it. So it's like you get that little self-worth type thing. I've never thought I would be on this side, because I'm an outside person. I tell you, I'm a mechanic by trade. The computers and all this other stuff is like whatever. But when we get people, and I'm gonna use this in a loose term respectfully, are broken. We get a lot of people that are broken emotionally or financially. We can't promise them the world, but showing someone how they can benefit from something that they thought was extremely difficult and hard, and able to simplify it and watch them get like that aha moment. You're like, okay, I get it now. Like, all right, things like that. And boom, boom, boom. Then you see them thrive from it. You get a form of like completion, like self-worth with that. It's just like the same thing. Like I'm used to mechanical type stuff, moving things around. So, and that's cool because it comes with like, if I can see it and they see it, I feel good that, hey, I was able to do that. Like, I know I'm not a teacher. Like, I didn't go to school to be a teacher, but I'm able to show somebody how to do something. It's just like, a mother with a child. Majority of the women, you teach your son or your daughter how to walk or do something. You're excited because you did that. So it's almost similar like that, but I get to do that with adults, and see them do certain things. And like I said, it's the certain customer that we do attract, that they're most appreciative and they're most vulnerable because they allow themselves to give of themselves and explain what they want out of life and what they've been going through and things of that nature. And you can sense that energy. I'm like, all right, then we can give you that same type of energy back. So it's more of an open exchange when you see people be able to do that. And like I said before, trading could be very lonely. You're by yourself, you're at the computer, and that's the same thing with LaToya and I, we've discussed, and it's a lot of emotions that go back and forth. So by doing this, it's a sense of satisfaction, but at the same time, it's a form of growing more and more traders in our community, and thus giving them consciousness of what's actually happening. Because we get people, even if they don't decide to come to the profit room, when we do like webinars and events, it's just having people conscious of their financial needs. And that's been our biggest message. Even if you don't buy a course, like download one of the financial apps, watch the news, financial section of the news, understand what tariffs mean, right? Just be a part of it. You don't have to be inside of it, just be a part of it. And once you become a part of it and start understanding it, you're going to start diving into it eventually. So I know I give you a lot of answers, but I'm just saying I get that self-worth with that.
It's needed. It's very much needed. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, LaToya?
Mine is just very, very brief. It's more so like somewhat of a fulfillment. And what's the best way? Like, we're definitely enriching lives, number one. And it kind of give a different purpose, if you know what I mean. It's like it wasn't the intended purpose, but it really sensed like, you know what, maybe this is our purpose as a company, is to enrich lives and have that impact.
Absolutely priceless fulfillment. Absolutely priceless. And, for people that are listening and feeling like they want to take the next steps with both of you, get involved in the community that the Profit Room offers, how can they go about doing that?
Well, first of all, you can, all our social media is the Profit Room. So if you go to the YouTube and you look up the Profit Room, you'll see a lot of our videos. We have a lot of videos on there. Our Instagram, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, things of that nature. And you get a concept of what we actually do. So we provide a lot of courses for people as beginners all the way to advanced traders. And we always suggest people to do the research. We have a lot of testimonials online. We say, Google what's going on, do a lot of your research. And remember, if you're coming to us, we are, which we like to call people freedom traders. We have freedom traders. And I'll explain that. We're not pushing lifestyle. We're not pushing chasing money. So if you're chasing money, you're going to have people behind you that chase money. But if you chase in freedom, money will follow. Money will follow. So we're looking for that particular customer that's looking to get a lot of time back and freedom to be able to do what they want. So it's not about the dollar amount, because your personal finances, you may be single, you may have no car in a small apartment, and you need only maybe, I don't know, 800 pounds a month to live. You know, that's you. So I'm going to cater something for you in order to live a lifestyle that can help you have your freedom. Then you may have a client, a student that has 4 or 5 kids, a family, cars, things like that. So your financial freedom is going to be much different from the next person. So that's what we focus on. What's going to make you comfortable to get your time back for what you want to do, not just the dollar sign. So, and we get people like that because we tell them straight up, I'm going to give you a structured course in order for you to fully understand. Some people say, how fast can I make 1,000 pounds a day? 2,000 pounds in 2 weeks. We don't want that customer because their mind is not there. Their mind is not there. The only way I could work with you, or LaToya could work with you, if you open your mind and allow us to be able to structurize something for you, because these financial markets aren't going anywhere. It's no rush. It's like learning how to play the piano, learning how to learn a new language. You're not going to learn in 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. You got to learn the pronunciation. You got to learn this, but you will learn. If you come to us, you will learn. It's just going to take structure and it's going to take time, and everybody learns on a different basis, but you will learn.
So, just add to what Ernest was saying with regards to how people can get involved.
Yes, so generally you can find us on any social media platform. The Profit Room is how to find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or we generally do provide and offer webinars every now and again to help new people or beginners get more acclimated with how the market works and functions. Or, some people can't wait. They want to know, I want to get started right now. Just head to our website, theprofitroom.com, and we have everything laid out for however you decide what you want to focus on, where should you start. All of our programs are extremely beginner friendly because we do not skip foundation. Every program, no matter how advanced it may seem, like looking at it like, can I do this? Yes, you can, because we structure it all for beginners.
Wow. Listeners and viewers, like if you're excited as I am, I definitely recommend that you get in touch, because this is the real deal, guys. It's one thing going along and someone telling you, but Ernest and LaToya are kindly inviting you into their world. This is a different area, okay, guys? It's a different ball game altogether. They're inviting you into their unique space, the Profit Room. It will evolve as time goes on. They're talking about, collaborations and so on and so forth. But for now, this is the starting game, but they're offering a level playing field, no matter where you are, what you're doing. And if we take a look at the current stance in life, like working for somebody else, there's nothing guaranteed. At least if you have something, especially if you've got a family, we've got to start thinking, what else can we add? What can we fall back on when things don't work out? We don't know how long this situation is going to last, but at least there's a platform that can give you the ability to learn what needs to be learned, teach it to your family, navigate. And like they said, they're going to hold your hands along the way. The courses are designed in such a way that it doesn't matter where you are, they don't skip the foundational levels. And I think that's quite unique. I really love that, because sometimes we're very mindful to say, I don't need to know that, let's go forward. And for me personally, my personal journey, what I've learned is that you can read the same book over and over again. You just get a new level of understanding. So it's not like, I don't need to do that. You're only going to get a deeper understanding if it's something you've already visited. So I think that's amazing. But more importantly for me personally, listening to the two of you, I love what you bring to the table. You guys have such different personalities, but when you come together, I think it really offers a nice combination, the feminine, the masculine energy, but then again, the way you perceive things, I love that. But coupled with your expertise, I think it's a mind-blowing platform that people can really immerse themselves into, that can transform their trajectory. And like you said, this is all about empowerment. And I think having this as an essence of empowerment is the difference, is going to make the difference for so many people. And I love that you get a deep sense of fulfillment And I know that you're saying it in a soft way, but it's not derogatory at all. Is that people come to you broken, and there's nothing wrong with that. But seeing the sense of fulfillment as you pour into them, and I love the analogy of being a parent, is that as you pour into them and you see them articulating in the ways that you navigated and installed, and you see them walking taller and stronger, that's such a sense of fulfillment, and it just really gets me excited just listening to the two of you. So you've got a huge fan here over in the UK, so I would definitely be singing your praises. Listeners and viewers, we will be putting information in the description, so you just go ahead. I will get links to their webinars, websites, everything. So everything will be there, just a click of a button, so you can navigate. Firstly, just I want to thank you, Ernest and LaToya, for joining me in this space. Thank you for inspiring myself and my family. I know that my son, the 15-year-old, he is going to be heavily involved in what you're doing. And I'm super excited. And I wonder if you can share with the listeners and viewers what you're doing for future developments. I know we had some talks about the children being involved. There's little things that are coming up that are percolating in your mind. And I think it's quite exciting if you can just share what you can with the listeners.
Oh yeah, I'll have Ernest take this one away, because he's very, very passionate when it comes to the children or the youth portion of what we're going to bring out pretty soon.
Fantastic.
So yeah, we have a program where we're focusing on kids with investments, but more of a thought process more than anything. It's just a way of getting your mind to think. It's just like you mentioned before, as a mother, you could tell a child no for some reason. Don't touch this because it's hot. They don't know what it is yet until they understand what fire is, how fire is created, what it's used for, things of that nature, right? Not just as just hot. So we want to come up with something where we're developing, hey, you need to invest. Okay, everybody tells you that, right? But why do you need to invest? What is the decision process behind it? Is this investment for you? What's your thought processes as you get to the point of learning how to invest? What decisions are you making now as a younger child that's going to allow you to do this and allow you to do that? So before it even goes into the aspect of the stock market, currency market, things of that nature, is more of a systematic, structured journey to get your mind thinking in a certain way. So and your mind may come to the conclusion that you may not want to do certain things. You may want to do another thing. So that's our whole goal. Whereas people, and we're not against any type of education, they say kids need to invest. Kids need to do this. They need to open a bank account. They need to do that. But some of them don't know why they're doing it. And some of them, just like adults, because we get a lot of information, which allows us to do this because we do private coaching. So we have the ability to see some of the insecurities that adults have in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and see where they might have went wrong in their preteens and that nature, and see if we can add a little bit of what we have now back into their mind when they're younger. So when they get a little bit older, they'll have that thought processes and those a little bit of financial securities in their mind, confidence by certain decisions they make. Because if we don't do that now, right, they'll get to the age we are now, and the cycle just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. And it's all about choices. That's what I was saying before. Even if you don't buy a course from us or participate, that's fine. But since we live in the world and the financial markets control the world, whether you have a career or a job, you need to understand what's actually going on. So that's the same thing with the children aspect. You may not be interested in what we're doing. You may not even want to be involved in trading and investing, and that's fine. But you need to know what's actually going on, and that'll guide you through the decisions that you make in life. So I know it's hard for me to sum up certain things because I go all over the place.
No,
But
that's
that's
perfect.
how we're trying to do it like that.
No,
Mhm.
that's perfect. Do you know what I love is the fact that we need to understand. So often people are like, it's for me, it's not for me. It's like whether you feel it's for you or not for you, you need to understand. And this is why I really reinforce that belief to the listeners and viewers, the fact that this is a life skill. Like you said, whether you're in a career or if you're working for yourself, this is a life skill. And I feel that it would be such a phenomenal and priceless tool if we can give that to the next generation, because it is a life skill. I know my life would look very different, because when you were saying like we get to this age and go back, it's exactly what I say to people in my own network, is that personal development is the same, where we grow up and then we go back and learn things what we could have started with. If we insert those foundations, we don't have to go back. We can go through the lifelong learning, but it's not an arduous one. Someone that's gone through their entire life without having that financial understanding, financial seeding of knowing what this is and how it applies to them, because it's part of the world, right? We can get our life back. We can stop the whole arduous journey of kind of wading through life, and then we can start making better decisions. But we can't make better decisions without the comprehension. So I feel that if you're listening to this and watching this, you really need to question yourself: at what cost? At what cost could I say no? Really say no to this opportunity. You're not investing in Ernest and LaToya, you're investing in yourself for generations to come. And I think we really need to get this together as adults. Like, I called myself upon this because when I started to stumble upon this, it was brought to my attention by my son. I started to question, like, at what cost? My son is going to become a husband one day. He's going to be someone's father. At what cost
Mhm.
will it be to him and his children for me not to be aware of how important this is? And not only for him, but for all of my children, not only for my family, but for people around me, myself. And this is why I was so excited about having the two of you come here and share this, because I feel that it's a missing area. I feel people are either for it or against it, had a bad experience, don't want to know anymore. And it's something we must at least understand. So I cannot thank you enough for that, because that really inspires me. But when you speak about our kids, we're talking about a brighter tomorrow on so many levels when we get this bit right. When we really get this bit right, we're opening up so many facets where children can go and study, where they can go to work because they choose to, not because they have to. I meet far too many adults as a coach that are miserable, tired, and sick in their lives because they've had to just go about their life. But if we ask the question, like, if you had a certain income, would you be doing this? No. So they're literally just eroding to just bring in ends meet, whereas this will offer another avenue, and maybe they won't have to go down that road if they at least understood. So thank you so much. Sorry for talking so much, but you really got me inspired
That's
about
okay.
that, because for me as a parent, I'm very passionate about financial education, and I think this serves such a massive um, essence within our community upon so many levels. And one of the things I love that you and LaToya keep mentioning is the type of people you purposely choose to surround yourself with, in terms of the people that you work with, but the mindset. Could we just delve into that a little bit? Because I feel that trading, what I've noticed my son, since he's been trading, I've seen a shift in his mindset. And I don't think people are aware of that deep level of mindset shift that you get when you immerse yourself into trading.
Say that with that is more so like it brings out a lot of focus. Like you really have to focus. You really have to, besides the skill set area, you really have to listen to yourself. Like that discipline I can't stress, because if you're not listening to yourself, you're gonna get ultimately humbled by the market. So you get to know yourself more, and you get to learn about who you really are as a person by that way, So I think that's what's interesting, and probably that's what you're seeing. It's probably he's more connected with how he is as a person himself. Is like, yeah, the market can definitely bring that out of you. It's definitely challenging at times as well, because not all the time we want to listen to ourselves, right? We want to feel what's what may be right, but there's something in you that's saying, you know what, that can't be it. So that's how I think about it in a sense. I don't want to really get off topic, but I'm just trying to connect to what you may be seeing within your son.
It's amazing. That's a really good answer. Ernest, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, anytime you deal with finances, you're emotional, right? So we have one of these sayings where you control the emotion and you trade the plan. Everything's emotional. This what we're doing here is just a big video game. When people tell me, "What do you do for a living?" I play video games, right? You see how kids get when they get on the video games. They get all emotional. They throw the controller. They get upset. They start crying, and like it's just a game. Man, what I tell people is just money. Sometimes you got it. Sometimes you don't. I don't mean to be it that simple, but it's the same emotion. People want to win. They want to win. They want to do what's right. So when you're in the trading arena, that's why you need to have someone to assist those emotions, to bounce stuff back and forth off of, who have experienced those emotions before. Because one thing you got to realize, like I said, with people being broken, and that's the hardest thing, trading doesn't reflect who you are as a person. So just like your child, right? Just because they lost the video game or something happens, a lot of people think it's a reflection on them, that they are unsuccessful, that they're not good at something. It's just a game. And I take it myself all the time. I could be the biggest baby. I tell you that right now. Start crying about some trade, like I know better, this and that. I'm like, LaToya, let me call you back, and be all in my feelings. I'm talking about all in my feelings. But we're imperfect. So when I hear that on the other end, it's the same exact way. You have to learn how to control those emotions. And that's always going to be a battle with any type of finance. But that the closest example I could give is with the kids with the video games. Like they get hot, they get livid and upset, but it's not them. It's just a game. It's just a particular time. And the better you get, the more you can control it, right? Like we call it controlled losses is with controlled wins. You can't get them all, but that's where risk management comes in and all this other stuff. So it does get with you as a person, and um, it does change your personality as well, a lot of stuff. So there's always a balance. There's always something that comes in there in order to level off, and also could build confidence. And that's what we try to do. We help people build that confidence to allow them to know, oh, it's okay. It's okay. You took a loss. It's all right. We took a loss too. It's controlled. But you know how to do it again. You know how to make it back up. Some people could take a loss and don't know how to make it back up again, right? Things of that nature. Just like the kid, hey, look, we're going to hit reset. We're going to start the game over. It's not the end of the world. We're going to start it over again. Then they get to the next level, right? So the same thing like this. So, but individually, you may not realize that when you're talking to yourself. You drive yourself crazy. But when you have like a trading coach or a mentor or somebody work with you through those emotions, you realize you're not the only one that's going through that, and realizing that the trading doesn't reflect who you are as an individual. You're still a good person. You're still brilliant. You're still great, right? And that's what really comes with the emotions of the market.
Fantastic answers from both of you. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm curious to know which one of you are more aggressive in the market, you or LaToya?
I'm probably more aggressive. Yeah.
Oh, probably. She's very aggressive. That's why she's so calm. You see how calm and collective she is? Yeah. So calm and collective. I'm the one that's, a little bit timid with certain things. So
Wow, that's amazing. I really love that. And again, I echo this back to the listeners and viewers. What I love about what you said is that you go through these emotions. So again, it's not theoretical. I imagine when this happens, you do this, you say, no, this happened to me. I understand that. So you have that controlled loss. I really love that. So listeners and viewers, you get so much by immersing yourself into the profit room, because they're there, they've been through it, and they're walking the talk. They're not just telling you it. It's their life. They're inviting you into it. I really appreciate you joining me in this space. I wonder if each of you can leave a final message with our listeners and our viewers.
Final message. I would say that if you're listening to this and this probably intrigued you to actually listen to the full interview, somewhat the financials or the financial world has sparked your interest. And I just want to say, no matter what you may think, just know that you have the ability to accomplish success within the financial markets, no matter what you decide to focus on. So ultimately, I always say, just believe in you, even when somebody else does not believe in you. Always trust in yourself and trust in your process.
I don't even know how I could top that. You know, she just sent the whole Oscar speech. Uh, I would just say I would just agree exactly what LaToya just mentioned. You you can do it. That's the bottom line. You can do it, and I'm an advocate, especially of just self-sufficiency. We all rely on someone for income, jobs, companies, and things of that nature, which is great. But when something happens in your life that may change, like LaToya mentioned before, you know, children, or like you want to be able to have that power and confidence to say, hey, I can be able to shift and do something based off of maybe some knowledge or information I have, so I can be self sufficient and not have to rely on someone else in order to take care of me. There's nothing wrong relying on people, a job, a career. There's nothing wrong with like that. But if something shifts that, hey, I found something to empower me, for me and my family, and to take care of what we're going to plan on doing. Because at the end of the day, that's what you have is your immediate circle, your immediate family that you know you want to take care of. And that's basically it.
LaToya and Ernest, I thank you. That closing message for the listeners was absolutely impactful. I know I'm really excited about sharing this actually for a number of reasons. So I will, like I said, I make sure that there's links attached. But I just want to thank you both for number one, coming together, coming together and creating this unique platform. But for number two, just joining me in this space to help share it around the world. And I know so much is going to come out as a result of this. Like, I really am passionate and excited. And I love your personalities. You guys are both so chilled, so down to earth, so humble, but you know your stuff. And I really like the essence of wisdom. You could just see it on your faces. The setup behind speaks volumes, but also you're in it. This is your life. So thank you for inviting us into your life. Thank you for the work that you're doing, because this is real tangible stuff that people can get involved in to really start mapping out, and like you said, empowerment and taking back control. So thank you so much from me, and I wish you continued success with everything that you do going forward.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
having us on.
Appreciate it as well.